begging for here, recording of this. There we go. So I'm going to be recording this. Baz, thank you again. This is amazing what you are doing, and thank you for giving it your time for everyone here at MA Finance Academy. It's a pleasure having you here. Obviously most of you all know about Baz and his amazing what we call a breakfast club that we do over here in the UK at 6:30 in the morning. We set our alarms to get up and get ready, and we get up and we learn and we earn. He's a brilliant teacher, excellent educator, and someone who I actually respect, because when we go in trades, when we make profit, he makes profit, and we learn from that because he does the same trades as well. So I really appreciate you coming on this call. We're about to have a lockout. Oh my words, we're about to have a lockout. This is what Des loves. He loves having lockouts. He goes, we're gonna have a lockout. It's amazing. Put some ones in the chat, everyone, if you are excited. Fire and one in the chat if you are excited. We are about to be locking out. We've got to have 99 people coming on. Here we go, 97. Oh my word, we're about to lock out. This is amazing. 98. Look at the last two. Oh my words, last two just coming in. See, look, see, Baz is just getting excited now. This is amazing. I'm fired up. I'm learning this from Des. Oh look, I've got one more space left, and it's gonna be hard to choose someone. Chris has got in at the last time. Des, Bryony, it's a lockout. It's gonna be a lockout. One more person is just joining in now. This is amazing. This is fire. Everyone is excited. As Des always says, I'm gassed and I'm truly blessed.
They're all locked in.
There we go.
The people in this chat.
There we go. Excellent. Everyone is excited about this, and what we are about to learn is amazing. There we go. All right. I've got one more person to admit, and we are officially going to be locked out. All right. So no further ado, we are going to start this amazing training. We are officially locked out. We are officially locked out. 100 people on the call. We are officially locked out. Okay, excellent. We are officially locked out. And there's people on here who haven't got their sound on. Please make sure you have your sound on so you can hear all of this. And like Des always says, note takers are the money makers. Note takers are the money makers. And if you don't want to miss out on all of this, this is amazing. Oh, some people have come off. Let's get them back on. Let's get some new people on. There we go. All right, Baz, no further ado, it's great to have you on this call. Let's get started. Baz, thank you.
All right, guys, thank you for having me here tonight. I'm really happy to see you all. And I'm really happy it's getting recorded. So for the people who cannot jump on the call, they can actually see a recording of this training. Guys, we are doing a lot of Infinity trainings at this moment. Yesterday we had a group from the UK as well. We will have people, a big group from Germany on Sunday. We basically have group calls all the time. And the reason we do those calls is because you guys are able to ask some questions. In the morning sessions, we are using the Infinity tool already. You guys are already seeing me using it, but today I want to give you guys a little bit more insights. And I want to just show you guys more how it works on the theoretical side. And then you guys can actually start preparing yourself for using this tool as a group. So you guys can, of course, buy the tool and use it yourself. But I also really believe that there are certain groups at this moment that are coming together to do multiple extra sessions, and they are just sharing the Infinity tool. They are getting on a Zoom call together and they are doing extra calls. And I think that the power in the group is really powerful. You guys are really a great group together as well. You guys are working together. You guys have amazing leaders. Thank you so much, David. Thank you so much, Des, for having me on this call, because I think this tool is going to make some of you guys Infinity educators. You guys are going to be able to trade yourself with this tool. But what's nicer than to just do a daily or weekly extra calls with your groups, having like 30 people on a Zoom call, take the Infinity tool and trade together. I really believe that this tool is really easy to use for beginners. It's also really easy to make variations on. So you can find your strategy, you can find your time frame, you can find your pairs. Or even if it's not Forex, you can trade stocks, you can trade gold, you can trade metals, you can trade oil. Guys, I'm going to show you that we in the Infinity tool actually gave 2 entries for the sell of oil in 48 hours and 24 hours ago. We gave those entries somewhere about $25 a barrel, and a little bit later at $23 a barrel, you had a second chance for the whole ride down. And if you have Infinity, you will see those moves and you will be able to get into a sell and making the pips you want to take. So the cool thing is that the Infinity tool is going to work on everything. So it's going to work on Forex majors. It's going to work on Forex exotics, going to work on metals, on oils, on cryptocurrency, and also on stocks. So at this moment, it just supports, I think, 6 stocks like Apple, Amazon, and some others. But the whole point is that you just start to learn how to trade with all those different financial instruments. And you can learn how to trade exotics on a demo account to see how fast they go and if that's something for you. If you really want to trade in the weekend, take a demo account on a broker that supports crypto trading and go and try to trade some altcoins. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, all those different pairs of crypto are available on the Pivot Scanner as well. So we are going to host a lot of calls. We are going to host different calls. Really make sure you're in the Infinity Traders group on Facebook, because that's where we might go live, or we go live on TradingView, but we are announcing it in that group that we are doing extra call after extra call. We are just going to also have a bit of fun. Like trading exotics, for me, is just fun. Some people, it's very serious business because they already moved to exotics as their main job. For us, exotics are extra. Cryptocurrency for most people is extra. I am a cryptocurrency investor. I'm buying and holding, but you can also trade it. And I was trading it a lot before, but recently, like last month, I'm basically just buying and holding as the markets are only some altcoins are really good to trade. So what are we going to do? We are going to trade them. Let's jump on a call on Sunday. Let's take a cup of coffee, tea, water, or whatever you like to drink. And let's just go on a call on Sunday and check, just to explore that crypto opportunity market. Because I told some people already, you can blindfold me and just show me the graph. So just like blindfold as in, don't show me what we are trading. Don't show me if it's currency, or don't show me if it's metals. Don't show me if it's oil. Just show me a graph and I will tell you buy or sell. And with the pivot scanner, how much? How much are we going to buy? Up to R8. How much are we going to sell? Up to S0. We know where to go with the pivot scanner. So my tool is great. It's been working for years, but when I put it on the pivot scanner, it just gave that last confirmation on my exit. So my tool is great for entries, but where is your exit? And that's why the pivot scanner is so great. So I'm going to share my screen. Let me see if I can do that here. Yes, Google Chrome. All right, so you guys should be able to see my screen.
Yep.
Put myself in the bottom here. Hoppa. Okay, so basically this is the Infinity tool, as you guys have seen it already. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat box. And I'm going to try to keep up with the chat box as well. So let's go over a couple of things that the Infinity scanner can do. And I just took a random pair and I'm going to just go over a couple of settings that I believe that will make your experience better. a couple of stop loss levels where you can actually get out of a trade when you don't feel it's the right trade. And also, of course, take profit levels we know with the pivot scanner, some other settings, and anything that comes up actually in the upcoming like 40 minutes. So let's just get going. Let's see how far we can come on this session, right? We are not going to trade any new trades at this moment, even though this doesn't look like a bad sell. It's just really not the time of trading for me. So it's good because we have more time to actually go over theory and over how things work, so that we can prepare ourselves for the best trading time. Because when we do trading calls, and we will do a lot of calls with you guys as well, we will do extra calls at the New York opening. So especially now during lockdown, it's great because almost everybody's working from home or not working at all. So you can jump on those calls as well. So we are going to do go live sessions in the morning, and we are going to do in London afternoon. We are going to do New York sessions, and we will do them on TradingView. So what we do is we will do them privately for certain groups so that they are not too crazy, not too busy, not with 2,000 people, but that we will just be with about 100 people together, having a chat box as well. It's almost the same as Go Live, but just on TradingView. And we will be able to actually trade together and actually find entries. And then you can learn from the entries where I would say, okay, I'm selling this, and that you guys are asking, so why are you selling this? And that I'm able to explain and actually do it at the same time. So it's kind of the extra from the morning, but mainly made for trading and Q&A at the same time. If ever you guys have any issues that as a team or as an individual, you do not get the results from the Infinity tool that you want, also very, very important, your upline guys, they have contact with Claudia. Claudia is scheduling calls in my calendar because it's so many. And basically she will be able to book group calls with you guys to do like kind of troubleshooting. Not really troubleshooting because the tool is not going to change out of that call. But if you have any issues that you don't feel that it's going right for you, we do want to help you, and we do want to make sure that you are actually profitable, because the strategy is there. It is ready to make you profitable. And if for some reason you do not have that result that you actually wish for, then we should fix that together. So that is something we are really, really going to do in small groups, just to make sure everybody is actually having a successful time with this scanner. Guys, the IM Academy is doing support for like, I can't access things, or my upgrade isn't upgraded but I paid for it, like all those things, right? The things between billing and actually delivery. That's what support team is for. But they can't do, and we can't expect them to do the product support. They are not going to go on the Infinity tool with you together to actually get things done or to get things sorted out. So we need to do that ourselves. We need to do that as a team, as a community. And that's why we have the Facebook group that is officially approved by corporate, because we are moving away from Telegram. So we made a Facebook group chat, which is the Infinity Traders. You can find it there. Fill in 2 simple questions if you're part of the academy, yes or no, if you agree with keeping it friendly, and then tada, you will be in the group, and then we can continue from there, supporting each other. And I really hope that there's going to be a lot of screenshots where people are saying like, hey, this looks to a sell for me, and I'm currently looking at it, and I'm thinking to, let's say they draw an arrow and they say, I'm thinking to sell this to S3, and I'm thinking to go for about 32 pips. What do you guys think? And if someone makes a screenshot, that one of you guys just make a screenshot and say, I'm thinking about selling CAT JPY, and you drop that in the Facebook group, you could drop that in your group chats, and everybody needs to make their own decisions. Everybody needs to put their own stop losses in there. Everybody needs to, at the end, learn how to trade and learn how to work with the tools. But the tools are going to help you. If this crosses through the cloud, you have red, red, red under the cloud. You can sell it. You can wait till pivot, and then sell it. You can say, I have my pending order straight under pivot, and I'm going to sell it to S2, which was a low. Now, we don't know if it was a daily low. For that, we do need the time zone settings session breaks. Really, really, really important, because you can say, yeah, there was a low, but was it today's low? Was it yesterday's low? Was it 3 weeks ago low? You want to know that. So you want to know when you're trading. Today is Wednesday, this was Tuesday, this was Monday, this was before the weekend. Very, very important to have a idea of what you are trading, when you're trading it, when to expect Sunday gaps and other, maybe even daily gaps on some pairs. So this is absolutely something interesting. And I would really wish to see people helping each other, saying like, hey, I'm thinking about a sell stop on this level, and I'm going to sell it to here. It's going to be about 25 pips. I may be even thinking about putting my stop loss at R8, a little bit above the major support line. And what do you guys think? Just ask feedback. Let's, as a community, just ask feedback of each other. One of the great examples, to be really honest, is the DeLorean Nation. Guys, I know DeLorean came onto the IM Academy and brought their own 1,500 people that were already using DeLorean in the company of Tyrone before I actually brought it to the IM Academy. So those people, he was like hard on them. It was like, you need to do your homework. You need to make like 5 or 10 setups a day. You need to post those setups in the Facebook group. If you don't post those setups in the Facebook group and you have a question, I'm ignoring your question. Like, those people did actual homework on a day-to-day basis, but they became really, really good traders with the DeLorean tool. Now, we did a session together and it was very interesting. We were trading, and I was looking on my tool, he was looking on his tool, and he gave me just like, okay, what do you think about this? So I put it on infinity and I was looking at it, and I didn't really realize it was Turkish lira. So we were trading and I was looking to a trade for the buy, and actually it was about, what in Turkish lira was 7,000 pips. Now, of course, that is not the same 7,000 pips in dollars as a result, because it's an exotic pair, but he was saying this is a buy, and I was saying I'm completely confirming a buy, and I gave him a take profit of the R8 level on Turkish lira, and he was like, that's exactly the take profit I was looking at. Because trading, at the end, it doesn't matter how you get to your trade, if you just get there, and if you get there with ultimate precision. And to be really honest, the DeLorean Nation, I don't know if some of you guys are trading with DeLorean, but it's a lot of work. Guys, I really respect those guys, because it's a lot of work. They have multiple indicators to check. They have multiple lines to do themselves. They have a lot of things to add, then to make a screenshot, then to put it in their community and actually kind of check if this is still a good idea, and then you can still be wrong. Guys, I say nothing bad about the DeLorean tool, because I think it's an amazing tool, and they, as a community, as a group, they are way further than all the other tools, but it is hard work. While here we have red line, red line, red line, under the cloud, sell. So I do believe that this is going to be easier. Tyrone himself loves it. He wants to do more collaboration calls as well. And I think it's great, because you have the best of both worlds. And the nice thing is, what I want to say is that, let's say this was R8, oh sorry, this was S0. This was the bottom already. And what if the tool at that moment just gives you a sell? What if they just put like a fat red arrow there and they tell you to sell? And this would be already the bottom, this would be already S0. Then you have your knowledge to decide not to sell. So the cool thing with this kind of tools is that they will give you, the tool does not look to pivots. The sell arrows and buy arrows do not look to pivots. It's a template on top of pivots. So basically, it can tell you to sell when it's already at the bottom. It can tell you to sell when it's in the bottom, and then it's your job to say no. it's already at S2. I do not want to sell it anymore. Of course, here now it's at S2, so you can still sell. But if it would be already on S0, you don't want it to sell anymore, any further. If it's saying buys when it's already very high, or sometimes you hear me in my session saying like, okay, this is just like 6-7 pips to the top, it's not worth it because we don't have enough space. And if it just misses our take profit of 6-7 pips, we would have potential trouble. We might get into drawdown, need to wait to climb out of that. And all the knowledge you have is going to be used to actually make your decisions. And that is great. So you guys learned a lot. You guys went to the Academy videos. If you are new, please do so. Make sure you have your fundamental knowledge. Make sure you learn from different educators. Make sure that you are checking what is trading. Someone will tell you 77.000 is an institutional level, and you will know that those wicks are going to hit it and not pass it. So you will learn all those different theories. You will have all that knowledge in your head. And then you take a simple scanner, which is great because keep it simple is at the end still the best. And it will just tell you to sell. And the only thing you need to do is that you check, am I going to sell this? Is the tool all right? Is this something that it's red, red, red under the cloud? Yes, because otherwise it wouldn't give you a sell. So you don't have to confirm that. But you can confirm, how far do I want to sell? Are we at certain levels? Are we, if I zoom out a bit, you don't know how deep this goes yet. What are the lows of a couple of days before? How deep do you dare to sell it? Because you can sell it from here to here with the information of a low. And then when it breaks, you can use the pivots to sell it lower. So that's not a bad thing, but all those extra information that you already have in your head and that you will get by doing the putting in the effort, that is going to be a major difference on how to use the Infinity tool. Infinity tool is foolproof. It will never give you a buy in a downtrend, which is great. It will give you a couple of stop losses because we will teach on that. And I think that that combination makes it great for beginners. But the more knowledge you have, guys, the better, because the better you can find the ideas that you say like, let me skip this one. Your goal is going to be telling the Infinity tool that it's wrong, because it will be right a lot of times. You can just go in. But the moments that it's wrong, that are the times that can bring you into trouble. That's the moments when the downtrend is done and you should not sell anymore. So I think that you guys are going to do great, and we are going to do many, many calls like this to actually help you guys go over that. So let me see, I'm just on a random pair, CAT JPY. Let me just see if I can find some good examples. So as you see, it's only buying at certain times and selling at certain times. And in the meantime of those things, when trends are changing and stuff, it just tells you nothing. It doesn't tell you to buy. It doesn't tell you to sell. There are great sells in here, and then it just waits some time, and then you have great buys. Now, one of those buys here is actually kind of secret buy. So I want to give you guys that as an idea. So of course we have the buys here. The easy ones, they are telling us to buy straight after the cloud, green, 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 buy to the top of the top of pivots. Let's say this is R8, just buy it. You can buy it after every pullback, so you can do multiple buys. You can buy it in one time. You can buy this in 3 times. You can go pivot level to pivot level. We spoke about this in the morning sessions. I think everybody will have his little variation on that. I'm personally buying pivot level to pivot level on the 15-minute time frame. Now, the funny part is that this trade, guys, just as an example, I have no idea. This is 75 pips. If you tell your fellow traders, I was on a 15-minute chart and I had 75 pips, I can tell you, they will tell you you're crazy. They will say like, okay, 15-minute chart, nice for scalping, nice for 5 pips, nice for 15 pips. But 75 pips is kind of feeling impossible for them. And the reason that it is because we are not on a 15-minute chart. we are not on the 15-minute chart. We are currently looking to a 1-hour chart with the 15-minute details. Now, let me say it again. We are looking to the 1-hour chart. Why do we look to the 1-hour chart? Is because this major trend line is looking to the next time frame. It does go for you to the 1 hour and checks, is this an uptrend or a downtrend or not? And while it's checking that, it's giving you that information on the 15 minutes. Now, when you are on the 1 hour time frame, you just have 24 candles in a day. Guys, if you have just 24 candles in a day, you don't even see those pullbacks, because they might be doji candles. There might be different like if this is 4 hours, okay, you see green, green, 1 red, green, 1 red, doji candle, because this one would be red and reversing. So doji means no body at all, doesn't tell you red, doesn't tell you green. You have no idea what happened in that hour. And then at the end, you don't know when it starts to fall down or when you want to go out, when it goes up for the second time. So I believe you need the details of the 15 minutes, but you might not want to take the 15-minute trend as the only confirmation. You want to know the 1 hour. So guys, how many strategies tell you to go to a high time frame, find something, and go to a lower time frame to find the entry? That switching was just always confusing for me. Guys, I'm trading for almost 7 years now, and I don't know if it's my brain or if it's just in general, but if I'm going to the 1 hour and I find an uptrend and I go to the 15 minutes and it looks like that the price is going down, I'm already thinking like, was it an uptrend? Was it a downtrend? It looks like going down. Let me go back to the 1 hour. And you go back to the 1 hour and you say like, no, it was really an uptrend. Okay, then it must be a pullback. So you are switching between those, or you need to write it down. So what I did every morning, I went to all pairs on the hour and I wrote down up, down, sideways, up, down, sideways. And I wrote it down from all the pairs and then go to 15 minutes to find my entries. But then at least I had on paper if today would be an uptrend or a downtrend. I think that was a lot of work. So for my, if you want to make something efficient, give it to a lazy person. Some people do not understand this, but I'm rather lazy and let technology do the work for me, which means I'm more efficient. And then I can do 11 Zoom calls a day. Well, I don't have to switch time frames at least. So that is the difference. So basically here, what you see is that we know that this is an uptrend on the hour. So the reason we can catch 75 pips, even though you catch it maybe in 3 times, but basically what you see is that you can also just take the range. You can just also take the trade in 1 time. Now this buy was given to you. Now, if we would be on a session and it's early in the morning, 6, 7 o'clock trading time, and I would say, okay, wait, this is like 8 o'clock. This is our morning session. I would say like, okay, this looks good for a buy, and I would buy it. Then I believe that there were people in the chat box that are saying like, why are you buying it? Because the major line is still red. Guys, when the price is above the major trend line, so for everybody who's completely new, major trend line, minor trend line, entry line, okay? Major trend line looks to the next time frame, as we just discussed, the 1 hour. This is the minor trend line, which is the trend, the current trend line, the trend line of the 15-minute, actual 15 minutes, and then the entry for the 15 minutes, specified for the 15 minutes. So that entry line is telling us to buy. The minor trend is already up. The major trend is here, flat and going to curve upwards. Sometimes you heard me say, this is going to cross. When we were still on the old template, we were having multiple lines, 6 different lines. It was more difficult to read, especially in some situations. That's why we switched to this. But it's going to cross. And here the same, it's going to be green. Because a major trend line pointing upwards, it only takes time for it to turn green. So you know it's already going to turn green. So the second thing is you want the price to be above it. So this is another secret buy. The price is piercing through that major support line. It was in a downtrend before, but it now says, okay, I'm going to go through it. So what you see here, price is hammering to this as a resistance line. It's falling down. It's testing it again as a resistance line. It's testing a pivot level. It's coming down. It's going, and then it goes through it. And the moment it goes through it, that's your actual buy. Now, don't worry if you missed it, because 99 out of 100 times it will retest it. In this case, it will even go down below it for a second. Mostly it just retests it. That's the moment that your major line, that is like a moving, a flowing support resistance line here, is becoming a support line now. The price switched to be above the major line, and the major line is now a support line instead of a resistance line. From that moment, the only thing you want to do is buy. And the little trick I will give you guys is that there's this dots, red dots, and here you see green dots. The moment it made that switch, the dots turn green. You don't really need the dots on the lower time frames. They are for stop loss settings on the higher time frames if you take really, really big moves, and I mean days of moves. But those dots are still helpful. They're a little bit too big. I made them like really small in my template. IM Academy made them a little bit bigger, but they might not be unuseful, because when those turn green, actually it's time to only buy, because the price has been switching and has been going through that major line. It's the end of the downtrend and it's time to start buying. So this one and this one are two amazing trades that you can actually take before the rest of the group is going to only buy from here, because they learn green, green, green and buy, red, red, red and sell. So these ones are the more secret entries. I call them secret entries. So the same for the sell here. You were in an uptrend. Just another example. You were in an uptrend. We were buying, buying, buying. The price is going through the major line. That is an actual sell. You can just sell that first move. When it pierces through, you can go. You see you have red, red, and a flat green major line that is already starting to point downwards. So that's good enough. But it always will retest. In this case, it also retests the minor level and it breaks through again. Now this was a weekend, so you have a huge gap here, but it does give you a trade straight after the gap. You can just sell that. That gap is not going to fill up anymore. It maybe did almost here, but in the first place it will go down. And then you have red, red, a falling major line and a red cloud. So there is your other sell. So you can take all those three cells, not this one because that's the gap. So you can take those three cells, and then after the next pullback, the rest of the people for the first time will get a sell from the infinity tool, but you already catch this. So this is specifically great when you are focusing on a certain amount of pairs. You don't have to go and look for those when you are doing all the pairs. So what I do in the morning, I go from top to bottom, and I'm top to bottom here in the list. I'm just checking all the trades that we have. I just check and I see these are the 2-3 trades I want to take today because they are ready right now. But this kind of trades, they are great. And this morning I had multiple trades where I'm saying this is going to happen. I know GBP CAD, I said it's going to drop. I'm not selling it right now, but just look at it and just to take the tool and take the pivot scanner and just know that it's going to the bottom. I got so many messages from people who catch that. And I'm really happy because that's the people who go to the pivot scanner, make their own decision, sell it out of a tip. You know, stock trading tips are illegal. Forex trading tips are legal because the market is so huge. Plus, no one can really control them. Of course, if you are the huge manager of the biggest bank, you are not allowed to give also Forex tips to your friends and family. But for now, I am not big enough to actually not give you guys tips. So during the day, I just kind of can give you guys tips. Like I am looking for selling this. I am looking for buying that. And during the day, I am going to give this kind of alerts, because I don't want to give just copy paste trades during the day. If I would give you guys a on Pip Talk or on whatever, if I would just give you guys a list with like buy this, sell this, you would just copy and paste it. Like 99% of people will just purely copy paste it, because it's a form of trust. And I'm very happy we have that trust relation with each other, but you learn nothing from it. So when I say I am looking to sell the GBP CAD to the bottom as 0, you actually need to go to the tool. You actually need to confirm it for yourself. You need to see why I am selling it. You want to try to find why I'm selling it. And if you see something like this, you probably think like, that guy is crazy. Why is he selling this? It's all green still and stuff like that. So that's the good news. You will learn secret entries. But more important is that when it's a normal sell, or when it just gave a sell entry, or here it's red, 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 and it comes out of the cloud, and I just wait for a major support line to be crushed, I will sell it to pivot level. And I was just tell you, guys, I'm looking for a sell stop under R6, and I'm looking to go 30 pips down to pivot level. And then people actually want to double check that trade. They want to double check this pair and how it looks to actually do that. Okay, so one little thing that I do not know if you guys will be able to change it, but I do want to give you the explanation if you can. The strategy will probably come here under strategies, or in an extra tab between strategy and training, as in extra tools. So it will say infinity. You can click on it. It will give an error if you are not able to if you're not able to, if you didn't buy it yet, it will give a pop-up, go to the back office and buy it. It will be $8 to $10. I don't know yet. Most upgrades are 8, but they also always said 10 to me. It uses quite some computing power to make those different lines on different time frames. So we will see what it costs. But guys, within a couple of trades, even on small accounts, with a couple of trades, you will be able to make that back. So it will come here on top. Then you might see the indicator. You might be able to double click on it, or you might be able to do this extra setting. Bless you, maybe. Trading from home. She tried to hold it. It's okay to sneeze, maybe. We are also just human, guys. We also sneeze. Okay, so a couple of things that you might be able to change. Is there any chance of buying infinity and pivots together? No, it's you buy pivots first, or you have the elite package, and then it will show you that you're able to upgrade the pivots. So yeah, that is going to be the procedure. It's the same as the Vibrata upgrades. So when you have Elite or Vibrata, you're able to buy London Payout, Money Flow from Lee Allen, and all those kind of other upgrades on top of Vibrata, right? So it's the same. So looking to the trend indicator here, it's called BK, which is actually standing for Kooijman, because I programmed this myself. I hope they leave that, because it's actually my own program that I gave to the IM Academy so they can make it and provide it for you guys. Now, one of the things you can't change is the FIB entry high, but you can change the FIB entry low. You can luckily not make it less than 8, because you will get not the right entries, but you can higher it up to 13. And you guys see that some things on the back here are changing. Buys are coming earlier or later. And the difference actually between this setting is that 8-21 combination will give you an early setting. It will give you an early buy and early sell arrows. Now, those arrows will actually give you the time to still analyze, to confirm, and then to take the trade. So this is kind of the beginner setting. This is a great setting when you're teaching. This is a great setting when you guys have like sometimes 30 seconds to a minute to even maybe 2 or 3 minutes delay on go live. Because when I see a buy, I'm analyzing it. then I'm taking the trade, and then you guys take the trade. So this setting is great for by default. So it will be default 821, and by default that is the best setting. But let's say you're trading alone and you're trading a couple of months, and you tell yourself, if I see a trade, I can analyze it in a minute or two, three, and I can decide what I want to do, and I can go in. That's the moment that you can go to 1021. The buys and sells will come a little bit later. They are better confirmed. There will be maybe less buy or sell arrows because they need more confirmation. But when they have the confirmation, you better get in, because if you do 1321, I think you have about 30 seconds to get in. It's like the moment before the volume comes. And I do not advise to go 1321. It's kind of expert setting. Plus it will give you way less arrows, which means that you need to find them way more yourself. If you don't like those arrows, you can keep yourself on 821. So the lines are crossing early, the lines colors are changing early, but on style, you just delete the buy and the sell arrows. If you don't want to see them, you can just take them off. Everybody has their own choices. I would not take the FIP confirm, the entry high, and the trend out of there, because then you're going to miss lines. I would not play too much with the colors, even though I know that there's like a group that's called, I think, Women Who Trade. They make everything pink. Whatever they do, their charts are pink, their t-shirts are pink, whatever they do, everything is pink. So you might want to change the colors to pink and the opposite of pink to find your trades in a funky way. But basically I would keep it red and green for not the confusing. You can do the same with the cloud. And last but not least, you can turn off the cloud. So if you say, I'm just purely, I need those lines, you can actually turn off the cloud. I personally think that the cloud is a great addition, but it's an extra confirmation. The lines itself are great already. If you think it's too difficult, you can take the cloud off if you want. It's just an option. Now, the cloud settings itself, 92652, are the original settings for the cloud. You can change them. I do not advise to change them. And the displacement is how much in front they are, which is also 26. So that's default Ichimoku settings. Now, if you check your Ichimoku and you check my Ichimoku, there is a difference. And the difference is very simple. When Ichimoku was created by Mr. Ichimoku tens of years ago, I don't know if it's hundreds of years ago, but tens of years ago, decades ago, it was created for the Japanese stock market. Japanese stock market was open for about 10 to 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. While at this moment we are trading Forex, and the Forex is open 5 days a week, but 24 hours a day. But part of that day, every pair has a pause moment. If you look to certain pairs, they all have, or they are quiet in Asia session, or they are quiet in the second part of New York session, or both. They are quiet in the European morning or whatever. So every pair mostly has about 18 hours of active trading time and about 6 hours of doing absolutely nothing in terms of volume. So we actually made little calculations on the amount of active trading time from a Forex pair 5 days a week, compared to the original Ichimoku 6 days a week and 12 hours of wild, crazy trading time. Because by that time, the markets were also, they were open and closed. You had gaps every day, and you had even gaps within hours. So it's a whole different time. I actually studied the Ichimoku strategy and the Ichimoku theory about 5 years ago and use it ever since. So it's very, very interesting. It's really Japanese style, really heavy mathematical calculations. But we adjusted the mathematical calculations based on time. We did not change the averages. So I do not advise to change the averages. They are still original. You will just see that our cloud is a little bit thicker at some points on the bottom, in a red cloud, a little bit thicker on the top side of a green cloud, because we have a little bit more trading time. So those clouds are acting a little bit different. That's why I do advise to use this cloud and not the completely original Ichimoku cloud, because it's not made for the current Forex markets. So another great reason to use the Infinity tool. So for that reason, if you ever want to, I wouldn't know why, you can also say, okay, goodbye Infinity, I don't need all those lines, I just want to have your modified cloud. You can also do that and add whatever indicator you want yourself, but let's not do it like that, and at least not for this session. Everybody will find their own way, which I like a lot. So so that's settings. Last thing for me to discuss is actual entries, and I'm going to find a bad entry. Let me try to find a bad entry. I think this is a great example. No, it is still a profit, but let me take this last buy, because the last buy and the last sell, they are the riskiest ones, right? Now, a couple of things you can see here why you don't want to buy anymore is that because the lines are becoming more flat and even curved. So you will see that first with the minor line, later with the major line, that they are getting curved, they are going to get flat, and they are going to start turning downside. Of course, the minor line turns red first. That is a time that's already too late. You should not be in the buy anymore. We are entering a downtrend. Now, let's say you were in a buy here, and let's say Pivot told you that you can actually go to this high right there, and you missed your take profit, and you check a little bit later, and you're like, damn, I'm in drawdown. So when to go out? There will be a couple of options, actually 4 different ways for you to decide when to go out. One of those is that when you see the entry line turning the wrong color, so you're in a buy and this entry line is turning red, that means that we have started at least a pullback. Doesn't mean the whole trend is gone, but we have started to pull back, and that means that you don't know how deep that pullback goes. So some people might decide to go out. Now, I wouldn't do that on the second this turns red, because it actually turns red during the candles, but it can then turn back into green. Until the candle is finished, the color will be fixed. So you will actually live get updates to see what is this potentially going to be red. So let's say it changes between red and green, and then you see, okay, it's red, candle close. You can go out directly after one candle close in red. You can also wait 2 or 3 candles further and then just decide to go out. So first stop loss option is to say, okay, I see the entry line is turning the wrong color for 1, 2, 3 candles, and I'm going out. That is option 1. Option 2 is that you can check when the price is coming to the other side of the cloud, not your side. And it's not advised to put the automatic stop loss here, because a lot of times the price comes to sneak to the other side of the cloud, and within 1 or 2 candles goes back. Sneak out, 1 or 2 candles come back. And honestly, there's a very, very big chance after trying that 1 or 2 times that it still goes up. So I would not like to put an automatic stop loss on the other side of the cloud. Here you see it as well. It just sneaks to the other side of the cloud, comes back in. Here also 2 little wicks. It just happens in strong pullbacks that it tries to get to the wrong side of the cloud, tries to sneak out, comes back in. If you have an automatic stop loss there, you're out. I do not advise that. But when you see the price is seriously going down and not comes back to the cloud anymore. So here you have an example of like going down, going in, going down, going in. It's like retest, retest. The moment it really goes to the other side of the cloud, that is a moment. This is not the best example. Let me see here. Okay, here. So you see it comes out of the cloud. It is out of the cloud, but turning upside. Then I would stay in, I would stay in, I would stay in. But then it comes down again and it's red. And it's red for multiple candles. We have a downtrend on the other side of the cloud. That is a moment to say I'm going out as well. That is your option number 2. So maybe this is a better example. Here you have your 3 candles red, 3 candles red entry line, let's go out. Here you have the other side. Let's say you're in a buy here, right? So this is the decision for, I'm in a buy, should I get out? So you can go out here, you can go out here. You can also go out when it really breaks the minor level. Now here again, if you just put the stop loss there, you can be stopped out too fast. When you really see that there's volume on the wrong side of the minor line, you should get out. And that would be your daily stop loss. So daily stop losses are going to be more here on this side. They will stop you out in this kind of cases. But the daily stop losses will be on the other side of the minor trend line. And then we have the major trend line. And when that major trend line breaks, all that volume here on the wrong side of the major trend line, that's when we already said we have secret sell entries. So why are you still in a buy? That's the moment you need to cut your losses, leave the emotions aside, and start selling this pair. It's time to sell. We entered a new decade. We entered the new trend. And that is the moment you want to get out. So the big stop losses are going to be on the other side of the major trend line plus a couple of pips. Never put it on the line, always plus a couple of pips. And I will put like big stop losses right there and say like, okay, this is where I'm personally really going out. If that changes, because that's actually in the moment I directly start to hit the sell button. So if I have a big stop loss, I hit the sell button, and within the same day, look at this. Those moves, guys, this is like a 50 pips. This is coming out of the cloud, is another 50 pips. We have 100 pips 24 hours later after hitting our big stop loss. So let's say this was the entry. We have a big stop loss of 100. We make it back in 2 trades. The point of leaving the emotion aside is going to be more and more and more and more important. So these are actually the 4 exits. So this is the super fast exit. Entry line changes other color. Other side of the cloud. Other side of the minor line, and other side of the major line. That's going to be the different stop losses. Are there any questions for now? Because we discussed entries, we discussed multiple different entries, we discussed stop losses, and basically this is the default things you guys need to learn how to start trading with the Infinity tool. There will be like here on training, you have Pivots Academy. There will be Infinity Academy, and on the Infinity Academy there will be a lot of videos just like this. And they will be giving the best examples I can find. We record them and we are going to put them in the Infinity Academy for people who have the Infinity Trainer scanner. So guys, let me know. Someone saying, talk about the dots. Yeah, great. So for that, we need to go to a higher time frame. Now, if we trade a higher time frame, this is a bad example, AUD USD. So if we go to a higher time frame, we are actually not on the hour time frame. On which time frame are we, guys? Let's see who's still awake. On which time frame are we looking at? 4 hours, great. Points goes to the first answered person very, very quickly. 4 hour time frame, guys. This is the 4 hour time frame. And why is that? Because it gives you a sell right here. And that sell just keeps going on. That entry line is not turning green at all for 930 pips. Have you ever found a trade for 900 pips on the 1 hour? I didn't. It's really too big for the 1 hour. So this is why, because the 4 hour gives us our confirmation that we should start selling and we get that sell entry. All right, now let's say I'm on a long trend. I want to have a little bit more confirmation. So I'm moving this to 13. Then the dots are going a little bit further away as well. You see the sell entry is gone. Well, I want to show you guys how to write that trade with the dots. This pair might be a little bit volatile. No, it looks good. Okay, it looks good. So our sell was right here. We start to sell. And of course we have pivots, so we know where to go, right? But those dots are going to be there for your stop loss. So if I take a horizontal ray and I'm having my entry, of course my stop loss will be somewhere above first. But after a couple of candles, I see that, hey, it's nice. I have my stop loss to break even. Then when you see a couple of red candles, so you see 3, 4 red candles, we put that stop loss to break even. Then you have a little pause. And then you see a couple of huge red candles again in your direction. Your trend is, your trade is blue. You're happy and you want to secure more profit. Then let's say after 2 or 3 candles, red candles, you have the 3 dots before. So what you do is that you see 3 strong red candles and you say, okay, 1, 2, 3 dots before, that's where I put my stop loss. And then you sign off of MetaTrader, you take your phone down, you go and do something else, you have some lunch, whatever. You see all this is done. Maybe a little bit later you jump in again and you say like, okay, we had a lot of red candles, 1, 2, 3. I am moving my stop loss to this dot 3 dots ago. So when you're actually in this trade, it's very easy to see what's 3 dots ago, all right? Then you have some pullbacks and nothing really happens. And then you have this huge red candle. And then you have some pullbacks. So you want to have 2 or 3 red candles in a row. So let's say you see this as 2 or 3 red candles. So you go from there, 1, 2, 3 dots back. Is it stopping you out on the pullback? No. So we are still in this trade. We are still in this trade. You have a couple of red candles here again. So what do? We go 1, 2, 3, and we put our stop loss about 3 dots back again. Then we are still in the game. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Here we have 3 red candles in a row again. So we say, okay, let's move that stop loss 3 dots in the past. And let's say I put it here just as the example. Otherwise we will write this whole thing down. So at that moment, what happened is that we have one moment here that we actually have a pullback. And that pullback hits our stop loss in profit. So if that happens, we actually get stopped out in profit. And that's where those dots are for, because now you have righted this whole trade. It was blue from the beginning, and you catch the first 340 pips, and just a couple of times a day, you just check and you say like, hey, I see 3 or 4 hours that it's actually moving my direction. I have more blue. How can I secure some of that blue? And you do that by moving your stop loss into profit. So it becomes stop profit, and you're moving that stop profit down on 3 dots ago after seeing some nice volume in your direction. That's where the dots are for. It's not something that everybody will use on a daily basis. But they are really useful if you want to write longer trends and where to put that stop loss in break even and where to put that stop loss in profit. So guys, I hope this was helpful. I think we are on for more than an hour. It is very simple, Matt. We need to keep it simple. Keep it simple and just ride the waves. Don't take pullback trades and all those things. They can just get you into real trouble. I've traded those as well. I've traded with the Davins 4 rules, and I don't say they are bad, but it's pullback after pullback after pullback. Guys, it goes right, and then it goes one time very wrong. And then when it goes very wrong is when you miss your take profit, the trend is up, and you're in a pullback sell, and you are in trouble. So this is really great. The add-on will cost $8 to $10. So it's literally a couple of pounds, guys. So it's going to be really, really useful. This is like 340 pips. So with 0.01, you will make like 4 pounds of more. 10 pips is a pound. You will make like, what, 33 pounds? Yeah. you will make like 30 pounds with one trade here. So when was it come? When will it come out? It will probably be ready by the end of this week or next week, and I hope to hear more about that today. Actually, we had a very long call with the corporate team yesterday. It was very late, so I'm going to catch up with some sleep. It's already 11 p.m. for me here. I'm going to catch up with some sleep tonight, but I really hope to get some information very soon from the corporate team when the release date will be. Sorry, you've got it, mate. when you've learned how to trade. So I traded. I don't know if that's the question, but I trade now for 6 years, almost 7, and I think this tool is going to make it easier for me, as I'm already trading with it, and it's also going to make it a lot easier for you guys. So, guys, back to David.
Yep.
Back to David. No, the tool is not free, Chris. the tool is going to be $8 to $10 upgrade on pivots.
No, this is amazing. Yeah, really appreciate it. Everyone, can you just thank Baz for this? Can you put 1 in the chat if you got a lot of value from this? 1 in the chat if you got value from this, because this is an amazing tool. Yeah, Baz, we appreciate you doing this for our academy and everyone here. I know a lot of people, I can see them making a lot of notes and learning from this, and I know we're going to be learning a lot more from this in the mornings as well. And we're like you can see in the chat, people cannot wait to get their hands on this tool.
Amazing.
They cannot wait. So it's been amazing. But yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you, Baz. Thank you again. And everyone, thank you for coming on this. Yes, it's recorded, so we can watch it again. I'll share it in the AFA group. We've got some wonderful people coming on. But yeah, thank you again, everyone, for coming on. Thank you, Baz. And I hope to see you again soon. And obviously, I'll see you in the morning. You have some rest. Yeah, because you've been very, very busy. I know you're busy. I saw yesterday, this morning, you were very tired. So we're gonna end this call so you can rest.
So basically, when the tool is out, let's schedule a call to do one of those New York sessions with this group, because we go live on TradingView. We just go live together, and we are actually going to just look for extra entries with the option to also ask more detailed questions to see what we can do. So let's make sure we book those calls. Reach out to Claudia, and we will just book those calls. But we need Infinity to be ready. We can do it next week, but I really like when people are able to confirm what I'm doing on their own screen. So yeah, it's really great if you guys have the tool yourself and you are checking what we are doing. So let's make sure that when the tool is ready, we do those extra calls. Let's go, Clinton goes 6 figures a month. Amazing.
That is Clinton. Look, he's got a big grin in his face. That's for Clinton. But yeah, definitely once it's out, we're gonna do another call, guys. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to this tool. Yeah, once it's out, yeah, Des and I will get back to you. We'll go to Claudia. Yeah, we're gonna sort this out. Like I said, it's amazing. Everyone's looking forward to it. Like I said, it's a game changer. Thank you again, everyone, for coming on. Thank you, Baz. Have a nice rest. We'll see you. Hopefully, you'll see. Well, I will see all of you lot in the mornings. Thank you again. Thank you again, everyone, and peace, everyone. Thank you again, Baz.
Bye-bye. See you.